Welcome. It's time now to have a look at creating our first 4 lists. These are really the essential lists that we need for running our business. I don't think we even need to add any more after that, unless you're going to set up an autoresponder series to promote a specific product, perhaps. So maybe that is something that we can look at another time. So first of all, we want to log into our customer area of our website, Mailwizz. Okay, now I've started this one off fresh with no lists and no subscribers at the moment, so I'll be able to show you as we go along how to actually set everything up one step at a time. So what we're going to do on this video is actually create our 4 lists that we actually need to get started. So the first one we're going to create is a seed list. So all we need to do here is create new. We need a name, so I'm going to call this our seed list. The seed list is going to be a list of our own email addresses, which we're going to use to actually test the system to make sure that emails are going out okay and make sure everything is working correctly. So we do need to actually have some sort of a description on here. So we can call it something like a test list. I called it a test email list. Every list that we create, we want to be single opt-in. Otherwise, if it's a double opt-in, every time you import a subscriber, they will receive an email asking them to click the button and confirm. And if you import, say, 250,000 emails at once, there'll be 250,000 emails go out to these people right away, asking them to confirm to join your list, and we definitely don't want that to happen. You'll probably get your IP addresses banned and your actual website as well, your URL, this part. Probably get on blacklist as well, and then you won't be able to send any emails at all with your VPS. You have to probably scrap it and start again. So when we're setting up our list, we need to put in, I always put in my own name as saying from, and sometimes I would do something like this as well, so that my name stands out a little bit when someone sees it in a mailbox. The from email, it's going to be probably info, I guess. Depends on which email we actually set up. For this one, I've actually set up steve@sbwgold.com. You might actually have info set up on yours, info at your domain name. So we're going to, from email, and our reply email is going to be that one. Subject line, because this is our test list, we can just put in there weekly newsletter. Doesn't matter because we will actually change that at the time when we send out our email campaigns anyway. These fields here we can actually leave blank. All it is if you're using an opt-in form and someone subscribes, if they're already on your list, it will send them to a specific page with this one. If they're not on a list already, it'll send them to a different page, or you can select the same page as well, so that's up to you. Now we have the option for notifications when someone subscribes or unsubscribes. I'm going to say no for that. You may want to, if you wanted to have a look just to see how many people are unsubscribing, you could maybe change that to to a yes, and then just put in your email address to send it to in there. But I'm going to leave that as no, because we can actually see all of this information from the back office anyway. Okay, so the bottom section here is when someone on this list subscribes, you can actually take them off another list, but we don't actually have any other lists, and also when we unsubscribe as well. So we'll ignore that part for now. Next is to fill in your company details. So we would normally use something like a PO box for that. I wouldn't put in your real address because we don't want to be sending people, your home address so that they can chase you down or contact you or anything like that. So I'm just going to fill in these blanks here. The category I'm putting down is marketing, the marketing industry. Let's see. Oops, I've put down the wrong country here. Should be USA, United States. I actually have a mailing address in Vegas. It cost me $100 a year, but it means I can put that on my email contacts as my actual mailing address, so that people can write to me if they want to, but I'm not giving them my real address, so they can't actually track me down that way. For a website, you can actually add, you can put a website down there. It'll come up on the bottom of your email, so depending on if you actually have anything set up on your main website, you can just use that as well, so people can go there. And this is the kind of format that will come up on the bottom of your email. So we'll actually probably save that information. And put that in a notepad, because we'll come back and use that again a little bit later on. Just create a text file. I've already got one by that name, so let me have a look. Here it is. I just created a text file with my domain name, and I'll save that information on there. I'll just move this to the other screen so that I can come back to that a bit later. And now that we've set up our address, we've got our company details in there, the list is ready to create. So we'll hit save. Okay, that's done. Now we're going to create 3 other lists, part of the essentials. The first one is just going to be to test ours. The next one we're actually going to create is a main list, and this is going to be where we add like our main list that we import from Mailwizz and Secrets, for instance. I'm just going to call that main list, or main list imports. Okay, now here is a description which our subscribers will actually see. So if they go to click on a link to update their profile or to unsubscribe, this is going to be what comes up on them. So I'm going to put on here online marketing and earning tips, so that they'll have a bit of an idea of what the information is that they're actually subscribed to. Again, we change this to single opt-in, update our email address, and we can put a different name down here, list building success perhaps. Nothing in this section. When someone subscribes to this, we won't do anything. If someone unsubscribes, we won't do anything. We will probably go back in and change these settings a little bit later on, after the after we've actually set up all of the lists. Okay, almost done. So on this one, I'm actually going to put a link to my squeeze page. I'll just quickly show you where this is going. So if I send someone to that one, they'll actually come to this page, and then hopefully they'll click this link and join my lead gen success, my lead gen secret, sorry. And put SRC equals AR so that I know where it came from. So I actually put MR Mailwizz autoresponder, so I know where that one has come from. And that's everything. I'll just double check, make sure that is single opt-in, and it is. So I'll save changes. Something's not right. Let's have a look. I didn't put in this line for my address. Let's try that again. Okay, done. Now I'm just going to pause the video for a moment while I create my next two lists, and then I'll go over them quickly with you. Oh, actually, I will start the next list first, and then I'll pause it when I'll fill in all the blank spaces. So create a new list. Okay, this one is going to be sent and not opened. Okay. Now we need to create a name on here as well, so I'm going to use something similar to the other one, online marketing tips, because this is actually the screen that the customer or your clients will go to see, your subscribers will see when they're actually, if they click an opt-out button, for instance. So I'll use something similar to that, but here is what the actual list is about. So people that we've sent an email to that have not actually opened our email at all, they haven't looked at it, or just totally ignored it, or it might have gone into their spam folder and they haven't seen it. Could be as well. Okay, and I'll just pause the video now while I fill in all of the address details at the bottom, and then we'll come back and look at the next list. Okay, ready for the next list, and the new list we're creating now after sent and not opened, we're going to open a list of subscribers who actually opened one of our emails. So they received our first email and they've actually opened it. So we'll call them VIP Internet Marketers. I'll head down here in the description for them, for the customers, for the subscribers, VIP marketing tips, that'll do. You can call that anything you like. It's just this is a name that they will see on their page when they actually go to your website to either update their profile or unsubscribe. This is what they'll see. Okay, so quickly fill in these spaces. Make sure I've got single opt-in. Yes, I have. That's fine. Okay, now when someone subscribes to this list, we want to remove them from the other list. So let's see. Actually, I can do that a little bit afterwards as well. But when someone subscribes to this list, we want to take them off these two lists here, the main import list and the sent not subscribed list. Now I'll just fill in the blank spaces down here, and I'll come back to again in a minute for the next list. Okay, all the blank spaces are filled in. We're ready to save this list. Okay, now let's see, we've got I think that is actually all of the lists we need. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, there's 4 in total. So now I'm just going to go back into the settings on each of these lists, so that when someone opens or when we send an email, we actually move them to another list. So the first thing is main imports. I don't think we need to actually unsubscribe anyone from those. So we're not adding them to another list. We're not unsubscribing them from another list. I don't think. That should be fine. So there's nothing we need to add to this one, so I'm just going to hit cancel. Okay. Now, sent not open. This one we will have to actually make some changes, so I'm going to click on update. Now, when we send sent not open, so let me just think for a moment. Okay, so when we add someone to this list, we want to remove them from our main list. Okay, so all this means that we're sending maybe 100, 200, 300, 500 a day to our main list. When we add someone to this list, this is the list that we've actually sent to and not opened, we want to remove them from the main list at the same time. So we're just going to tick that box and save. And just going back to the list again, and we've got our opened list. I'm going to update that one. So if we send an email to our main list and someone actually clicks and opens the email, we want to remove them from the main imports list and from the sent and not open list, so that now they'll only be on the one list, which is the list of openers. And the reason we are creating the list of openers is in the future, at some point, this is where we will actually be sending all of our offers to. So if we're trying to sell affiliate products like ClickBank or Warrior Plus, or even to promote My Lead Gen Secret, these are the people we were actually sending to, because we know that they've received our email because they've actually opened the email and they've had a look at it. Okay, and that's all we need to do now for creating our lists. Now I just want to create a seed list so that we can actually import this one. And to do that, I'm going to go to our leads folder. Hopefully you've already created this to drop your weekly email list that we actually get from our lead swap. But what I've done is created a folder called list on my computer, My Lead Gen Secrets, and all of the zips I'm unfolding here, and then just unzipping into a folder here. Now we've got valid emails here and we've got invalid emails here. So I've already gone over the invalid emails in the video about importing the blacklist. So what I'm going to do now is show you how I created my seeds list. So I've already done this one here, so I'll just create a new one. What I'll do that to get the leads, or to get the idea of the actual email I want to create, I'm just going to go into one of these valid lists, and I'm just going to copy a couple of lines and paste them into a new Excel spreadsheet. The reason I'm doing this is because when we import into our seed list, I want to actually have all of these subject lines at the top of the list. So we've got information, so we'll have the city where this customer or client is located, the state, the country, postcode, the whole lot. So I'm going to create a few lines. I'm just going to copy these. I'm going to create a new spreadsheet. So I couldn't work you how to do that for a moment. Just click New, and then I'm going to paste that in here, and I'm going to save that one in the same location in my lead gen secrets folder. And I'm going to make this a CSV, and we'll call this seeds. If you want to keep the format, just say yes if you want to save that. And I'm just going to close these and go back to my seeds. Okay, this is the file we just created, and what I'm going to do is just replace some of the information here with my own email address. So let's see. We want to put in a few email addresses, probably something Google if you can, like Gmail, and also if you've got any Hotmail addresses, put that in as well, and Yahoo. The reason we're doing this is because we want to see if these emails actually get to the inbox, or if they go into a spam folder, or if they don't show up at all. So I'll just create a few email addresses here. Okay, so I've created a few email addresses here. So this is what I'm going to use to actually send to myself. So I've got Yahoo, AOL, a Gmail, and a couple of my own hosted domains on here, which I'm pretty sure that they'll go through anyway. It's these other ones that I'm really worried about not receiving. In this spreadsheet, you can go in and change any of the details you like. If you want to change the the address or the first name and last name, I'm just going to leave those names in there. So for instance, when I receive an email from this one, it's going to say, "Hi April, I'm Steve," something like that, when you start off the email. So let's save that information, and then we will import that list. Okay, so go to our seed list. We want to click over here where it says import, and we're just going to do a live import on this one. If you're importing a large file, you might click on queue import, so you can actually upload several files at once, and then the system will slowly install them into your database. With this one, you can actually watch the progress. So we'll click on, we just need to find our file. It's in my folder called lists. Okay, seeds, that's the one. Upload file. So we can actually watch now. It only takes a few seconds for something this small. It doesn't take very long at all. So this is done already. It's uploaded the 6 with no errors. So that's fine. We can go back to our list. And we can see now we actually have 6 in our import list. So that's all I'm going to put down for this video now. The next one I will show how to actually send out our test email.